Okay, hey, I had to do another video. I was just like, well, you know what? Let me go ahead and tell them because it may sound crazy, but maybe not. I went ahead and went to see the movie, the Rise of the Dark Knight. Okay, so oddly, um, I went to Prophetic Seers page. And shout out to you, Prophetic Seer. He does a lot of exposing of showing and releasing information for people. So shout out to you. He even let me came on the show when we had the flood here in Memphis, and we got to talk about a few things. And some of the things we touched on are still coming to be coming to play. So I'm gonna tell you all about my movie experience going to see Batman. Now, me being a Christian that I am, my mind just automatically is gonna test everything by the word. I'm I'm gonna look everything spiritually. Okay. In the beginning, first let me say this, y'all. I ain't gonna lie, I was nervous. So don't think because you know I know they're like, well, you got the blood of Jesus, you shouldn't be scared. No, I was just a little spooked. So if I saw anybody in a gas mask, I'm finna strike out. So I had it planned. And I was just like, I'm telling y'all better keep up with me if y'all can, because I'm running. But nothing happened. We were safe. They had a lot of security. I even think they had a police officer circling up there. And no one were allowed to come in that were in costumes. So they did, that's a lot better. But in the movie, first of all, I didn't know the name of it was The Rise of the Dark Knight. And the vision she had and the visions I've been getting is about the Antichrist and the rise of the Antichrist from within the church, the one she did. And in some of my old prophecies, if you go back and go through them, I've mentioned this. And I just thought it was odd that when they were promoting it, I never heard them say that. But when we looked at it, it had Rise of the Dark Knight right over top of his head. And I'm looking at it outside of being a Batman fan, it just looks like a dark spirit. When you think of Dark Knight, I mean, it's not like it don't take a rocket scientist. They put it out there right in front of us, so it's not something that's difficult to understand. So to make a long story short, because I don't want to spoil it, because some of you may want to go see the movie, so I don't want to spoil it for you. But the main thing I realized was the stock exchange will be the catalyst for the Antichrist to enter. And what's going to happen? Instability is going to intentionally be created so that we'll be almost in a state of chaos and so desperate for normalcy, where we'll be more willing to vote for things and allow bills to pass and all of that stuff that we usually wouldn't do. So that was the main thing that I noticed. So it will be. So watch out for the stock. Watch out for Wall Street. Be watch for these things. Something is going to happen, and that's going to just shoot us right into the Antichrist and him exposing who he is and his arrival. I think the movie is symbolic of the rise of the Antichrist within itself. It was just so many things within the movie that led me to think that. The second thing was there was a whole lot of numerology through the movie. And I looked it up and I found out that the number 112, showed up in the movie 3 times, if I'm not mistaken. Let me scroll down and make sure I had to write it down like y'all see. The number 112, I think, yes, it showed up about 3 times within the movie. And I looked up some numerology just to make sure. I'm not really into numerology like I used to be. But the number 112 was shown right before bombs went off, and they showed number 113. So if you all know anything about that, let me know. But I did find out that the number 112, Vikra, that word has the, how words have a number that fits with it. Okay, well, that word, the number that fits with it is 112, and that word is interchangeable with the Messiah. And once in the movie, they call Batman the Messiah. So people are going to The Antichrist is Antichrist to us because we know he's the opposite of Jesus Christ, but that's not who he's going to show himself to the world to be. He's going to show himself to the world to be the Christ. Okay? And so I just thought it was real tricky how they called him the Messiah. And it was said very low. You would have missed it if you weren't paying attention. And so when I saw the number 112 and I looked it up, and lo and behold, it has the meaning, numerical meaning from the word Vikra, and it means Messiah, Son of God. Okay, so the number 113 also showed up immediately after, and these numbers was right above his head. It was right in the middle where they made sure you saw it. Okay, I don't know what 113 means. I know the number 13 is usually representing some type of evil. Leave a comment if any of you know or find out. And that they came in that order. First 113, then 112. Okay, Death to America. That's why in the movie, without spoiling it, I noticed that they were giving subliminal messages saying Death to America. The little boy was singing an anthem that America is known for, and as he's singing this anthem, this is when this really bad terrorist attack is going to happen. Okay, so I'm just going to say that it seems to me not only will the stock exchange be just completely thrown out of normalcy and into chaos, but America will no longer be America as we know it. Okay, I'm supposed to look up Truth and Gotham Team because their logo was really weird. Their logo was like a U and another U on top of each other, but the bottom and the top of the U crossed. That's what the logo, the team logo in the movie, and it would look like something I've seen on a crop circle. I don't know if that crop circle has been deciphered yet, but that's what it looked like, and I hadn't researched it yet, and I will be looking more into these things, and when I find out something about it, I'll let you all know. But if you all find out, please let me know, because y'all always find something. So, okay. The next thing was number 336 showed up right when the bombs got ready to go off. Now, of course, I'm thinking 666, okay? 336 is not quite 666. So I'm going to look it up and see right now what that means. 336. Did I say 336, y'all? Or I said 33? I'm talking like I can hear y'all. I'm like, yeah, girl, you said 336. Okay, 336 means the military successes of Emperor Constantine I results in most of Dacia being reconquered by the Roman Empire. That's interesting. The number 336, that's the first thing that popped up. Okay. That's the main thing that popped up with that number. It also means Proceeds of Crime Act 2002, Section 336. That came up. The Crime Act of 2002. That may be something we should look into. Let's see what the Crime Act is of 2002. And I noticed a lot of people, it seemed like the civilians didn't have guns to protect themselves at all. So that was a whole nother part of it. And I was like, wow, we're going to lose our weapons, or are we going to lose our right to defend ourselves? I'll say that. Okay, the Crime Act of 2002, Section 336. A reference to a person having derived proceeds, a benefit, literary proceeds, or wealth, includes a reference to the person or another person at the request or direction of the first person, having derived the proceeds, benefit, literary proceeds, or wealth directly or indirectly. What in the... I ain't even understand that. Did y'all understand that? Proceeds of Crime Act 2002, it sounds like something completely different than what it sounded like, so I don't know. I'm going to lay that out there. But like I said, the first thing that popped up was military success, and Constantine is what came up in the Roman Empire. So Look like Death to America once again. And I'm not laughing at this to be laughing. It's just like, it's in the Bible and everything has been prophesied and it's right there and we don't utilize it. So I'm laughing because it's like, oh, God said that was going to happen, you know? So it's just like everything that he told us is coming true, like right before our eyes. Okay, so this was the next thing I noticed, and I don't want to spoil it for y'all. Let me wrap it up because I'm so long-winded. He fed on terror in the movie. He fed on terror and despair. The number 1444 kept popping up on the screen behind them. This was at the peak, at the climax of the movie, when all of the chaos had already been created and people were going into dysphoria. Also, UA.com continually showed up. I saw Xfinity, different advertisements show up throughout the movie, which I thought was odd. Usually they don't really do that, or it'll be blurred out, even if it's a drink can or something. My daughter's right in my light, and I asked her to stay out my light, but I'm sorry, y'all could not see me. Okay, so now the guy in the movie that represented the Antichrist is not who you think it is, okay? But the main thing was the truth was twisted, and that's how they deceived people. But the only people that were deceived were the people who were already in bondage, okay? Now, he called it a false idol in the movie, which is partially true, but he mixed the truth with the lie, promising freedom and giving none because he himself was in bondage. And that's exactly what's going to happen. The Antichrist is going to promise freedom. He's going to make promises that he has no intention on keeping, okay, and is unable to give or provide. So I just see a false hope being created for people because they feed off of the disparity. The number 951 came up in 949, and it showed up at least 3 or 4 times within the movie. I know that, and I'm making a prediction. This is just me now. I'm not saying it's the Holy Spirit, but it seems like the next big event we're going to have is going to be when the first snow arrives. So that either will be the first state to receive snow, the snow winter solstice, or the first day of winter. There will be an event happening around that time. Disaster emergency relief will play a very big role in all of it, and you all have seen the videos about the FEMA camps and what they're really there for. I saw the word now in the background. It was very clear. It wasn't hard to see. Over 5OV, and I'm not sure what that is, but that word was up there all by itself in the movie. I wish I had the the software and technology so you could see it, so y'all could see these numbers, how they were posted, but they were making sure we saw these numbers. Okay, the bomb would go off in 23 days in the movie, maybe from the first day of winter. So 23 days from the first day of winter, if I'm not mistaken, which is right around what we celebrate as to be Christmas, be looking for something to happen. I'm in prayer that nothing bad happens, okay? But we must remember, we're in this dark fallen world, and the Lord warned us of things to come, and he said these days would be, there would be a prevailing time of such an evil. There would be, people would be lovers of themselves, having the power but not the power thereof, a form of power, but denying that very power, just pure evil and deception and wickedness. So, because of sin, that's why it's the way it is. It really isn't that God is doing all of this, but God is going to make good of it. So that's the purpose, and people like me and other people sharing the things that God lay on their heart, so people won't be deceived. So you will be able to see things for what they are. The next thing I noticed was when the guy called him the Messiah, he called Batman the Messiah. Now, they created, I'm not even lying, I felt so bad for Batman. I did. He went through so much, and I felt so bad for Batman. It was the point where I was just like wanting to cry. I was in tears. And I was just like, wow, I see they're creating an emotional attachment with a dark character. It's just programming us. It's getting us used to celebrating the villain without even knowing it. Within the movie, the number 169 came up over the head of the guy named Bane, the character. There was a statement in the movie, and this was spoken by Batman, and he said that they needed an exodus. I just thought that was odd. The book of Exodus in the Bible, you know, the Exodus that happened within the Bible. He told them they would have to cross the bridge, okay? So once again, this is taking something biblical and turning it, twisting it into something else. There was a tore up United States flag hanging like from an apartment building. That was the second time to me that they communicated to me death to America as we know it. The whole time throughout the movie, who we were thinking the Antichrist was, well, the Dark Knight, you know, rises. It was so pure evil. It did make Batman like a hero. Okay, I'm not gonna even lie. But I have common sense to know that anything that is dark, anything that lives in a pit in a cave, is not of God. So you see how it's twisted? So everything that's good looks bad, and everything that's bad, they're making it look good. Okay? And the Bible talks about that, and it talks about men, even the very elect will be deceived. So we need to train ourselves to discern good from bad. We need to train ourselves. If your eyes are blind to this and you're just completely whacked out of tune with what's going on and plugged into the matrix of it all, and you can't see all the bad that's going on, you can't see that God really is fulfilling everything He said would happen, something's wrong. You know, by now, all the people that died with the massacres, we should be able to see. Remember what happened with Heath Ledger. You also, it's something really evil about this. And it reminds me of the Antichrist. It does, and some of the visions I had. Go back and check those out. But another one of the main things was the water is what ended up saving them. And I thought that was significant because in the Bible with Moses, the water was what God used to save the Israelites leaving Egypt. And so it's kind of the same thing, that same kind of even wordplay of certain scriptures within there, him being called the Messiah. So the Dark Knight, the rise of the Dark Knight was called the Messiah in the movie by a blind man, and he also was the hero. So when the Antichrist comes, I pray to God that you're not here. I pray I'm not here, Lord. You know, I'm doing everything that I can based on what His Word tells me to do, so I'll leave with the rapture. But, I mean, when the Antichrist comes, he's not going to come as an evil person. He's going to come nice. He may be very, very good with people, very charismatic. So, you know, there is a time of tribulation. If I'm not mistaken, the tribulation is 6 years. And if you happen to be here for the tribulation, you will see these things come full circle. I pray that you're not. I pray that you go with the rapture and not have to see this, okay? The rapture is real. Now, I believe they're moving so fast with the holograms and everything, I believe that a fake rapture may be ahead of us. I'm not sure. I'm just saying, and that will make a lot of people not believe in God or not believe in the rapture, or that'll make a lot of people give up, and they'll be like, oh, well, the rapture happened, I missed it, oh, well, I just have to deal with it. So, I don't know, but if that is such, and if that is what happens, don't let that disturb your faith. God is faithful to do what He said He's going to do, and He is going to rapture His children, His true children, from here. There will be some left here that are set aside for a specific purpose. So, you know, when those that are here for the tribulation, they do have a chance. They're not just going to be stuck here on earth and have no choice but to go to hell, okay? God is a God of love, and He's a God of grace. So even after the rapture, God still will raise up people here that will begin. There will be believers. There will be people who do not take the mark of the beast. Some people may not become believers until after the rapture, okay? So, and God's going to do these things for a purpose. The two witnesses in Revelations, and they get shot, but they come back to life. All that is going to happen. You know, this is not a story. This is not a comic book. I mean, Hollywood based most of all their movies off of the Bible. So you can look back in history and see how much prophecy has been fulfilled already from this book. It is real, y'all. And I'm telling you, the Antichrist is definitely, his spirit is here. I don't know who he is, but I know his spirit is here. Get in your word. Pray every night that the scales fall from your eyes if they're there. Pray that you do not sleep nor slumber. Pray that you don't be blind to it, you know? That's the only thing you can do. And stay in your word. Go to church if you have a local church to go to. Now, I don't want you to be going to church and the church, you know for sure that the church isn't with the Spirit of the Lord, then no, don't do that. But get in the Word, pray for a church. God will send you to a church home. He'll send someone your way or give you a thought. That's how I found my church. He can do that, and just keep your faith in Him, and everything will work out. But this move is definitely pure evil. I hate that Heath Ledger went through what he went through, but a lot of my prophecies from my visions have been fulfilled. One of my visions, if you remember, I said something about in the vision, I had something I could put on my body and it made me stronger. Well, Batman had this in the movie to put on his leg, and it made his leg like 100 times stronger. They actually have that. The military is working on it now. So keep in mind, y'all, I've been having these dreams like years and years back, and now they're coming to manifest. So, I don't know, for those of you that call me a false prophet, you see now, the Lord really was speaking through me. But yes, so I'm praying for you all. I'm praying as you are with me. Thank you so much for supporting me. If you have any questions, let me know. I know some people are going to say you're a Christian, you shouldn't have went to that movie, but something really good happened. And I got knowledge, and then it's something else I can't talk about right now, but I did get to kind of testify. And I did have an experience, and I knew God had me there for a purpose, and I was able to get all that understanding and revelation. I'm sure some of you know what some of those numbers mean, so just send it to me and let me know. All right? Peace out.